Okay, Ray, I'm in the boat now and waiting for my wife still. Unfortunately, when we were here with your buddy last time, we left the battery switches on. There's one there and there's one there, okay? When you get this back home, right over in the corner right there, there's a little plug. Just put an extension cord on there, keep the battery, or I should say turn the battery switches on, and plug it in. It'll take a couple hours, it'll charge the batteries and everything will work. Again, I apologize for the boat being dirty. There's leaves all over the ground, just because of the fact when we put it away in the fall here. So there's like marks on the seats and stuff, but overall the boat's really clean. It just needs to be cleaned, if that makes sense. So, I don't know much about stereos. A lot of speakers, there's subwoofers under here and that kind of stuff, and I don't know much about that. There's a stereo there, there's remotes for it, there's your toggle thing. So when you start this boat, Ray, so here's all your stuff. I'm gonna turn it like this maybe, and I apologize for the video, I don't know much about this shit. It's unique. This is the first boat I've ever had where there's no keys. So here's your two switches, okay? You basically you pull out and then up, pull out and then up, okay? And you'll see it, you'll hear the engines, the fuel rushing in, and you'll see the lights and you'll see everything turn on. And then you just press the button and it'll fire. Then press the other button and it'll fire. So you actually pull out. You can't just pick it, you gotta pull and then up, okay? And again, you have your blower, your builders, everything works. All your warning lights, your cabin lights, your engine lights, all that stuff works, okay? Now, real important, okay? When I first bought the boat, it had spacers in the outdrives. Guys at Eliminator said, get rid of them, so I did, okay? So what happens is, when you get ready to plane off, what you want to do is put the trim, you got your trim switch, right here, trim all the way down. You'll see your drives will go all the way down, okay? Your tab, which is just one, you want to go about halfway, okay? About, again, you can look at it and like around 4 or so, or 3 is in the middle. You want to just barely put it down. Do not put it all the way down to 0. You won't plane off. You want it just a little bit down, like around 3. And when you plane off, Ray, you don't punch it, just ease it into this boat. It's very unique. It's again nothing like anything I've ever had. It doesn't even really plane off, it just sets right over. So you're going to ease it up to about 3,500 RPMs tops. It'll roll over and then just come off it slightly, and then bring your tab all the way up, and then bring your trim up to where you want. I usually ran around between 2 and 3 because you don't need much trim for this thing. But again, when you take off, put your tab, after you get plug the batteries in, where it's flat, you want it just barely down. Do not sink it all the way down to 0. Usually around 3 or 4, somewhere around here, just where it's just barely tilted down. Okay, that's all you want to do. And then you also have trim and tabs here. And as soon as you start to roll it over, then just start to raise your tab up. You'll get used to it. Now, other thing, why I'm talking to you, and then there's your lights down here, for the back there or whatever. When you're running this, and again, I never got it dialed in. I'm hoping you'll have the props back to you real soon. You're gonna want to get different props for it. But again, because this thing's propped probably about 100, you'll hit the rev limiter, and you're not even it's because we have a small lake. But what you want to do is, even at that, right around 80, 90 miles an hour, she'll start to want to bounce a little bit. And then from that point, and again, I was just learning it, I just put the tab a little bit in the water, and then it just takes it out. And then as I was driving through it, then I would pick it back up and it was fine. But you'll figure all out that for yourself. The big thing is when you plane off, trim all the way down, but just barely put the tab a little bit, negative. Not much, just a little bit, I think it was around 3, and then which is about a little, because I think 4 was, even or whatever it was, but just a little bit. Don't bury it, and then just roll it over slowly, and you'll be shocked because it doesn't even really plane off. It just sets right up, Yeah, it's like almost like a Skinetique. And then all I would do is every time I would start each engine, when I start it, it blows water off the side for the blower things. You can tell I'm really mechanical. On each side, a lot of times I would lift the hatch. It's the biggest engine hatch I've ever seen in my life. And then I would make sure water was circulating through everything. And again, Alexi, the engines were great. I never had any issues. That's the stereo. When we bought it, the gentleman had never even turned the stereo on. I don't know much about stereos, so, you know, again, there's more, you know, cup holders and everything. Everything's pretty much standard with Eliminator, like lit this and lit that. There's lights in here. There's lights under the cabinet, or under the cabin, up under there with the seats. Great area to change or whatever. We're going to get our junk out of it. But, you know, I wish you the best. I feel bad that we're not going to be here to meet you. We will talk soon. I hope that pretty much, I feel bad I can't pop the engine hatch and your buddy did. But again, there's a plug-in, there's a built-in battery charger. Just plug it in. It charges pretty quick. But I think you got to have the battery switches on when you plug it in. There's one on each side. You know, just turn them down, turn them on, plug it in, and then, you know, engine hatch will open. I mean, but besides the boat being dirty, you know, because of leaves and stuff, overall, I don't see a scratch on the boat. It's real pretty. That has like the silver. You can see up here. The silver is real shiny. It has like speckles in it. We have the boat's called Family Tradition. It's just a vinyl sticker on the back. All my boats, because this is my 15th Eliminator, and because it's a tradition, because my dad, and you know, that's why it's called Family Tradition. So I'm rambling, but I'll get one more video when my wife gets here, and I'll say goodbye to it. This was kind of my dream boat, you know, having a 36 Speedster, but it's just too big for the lake we run. I was just talking to Kevin, the guy that just talked to you, and we were talking about it, and he's like, yeah, he couldn't believe that we ran it. Hey, there's my wife. Say hi. Say hi to Ray. Told him we're not going to be here. I went over everything. Unfortunately, we did leave the batteries on. So I'm up here. So, unfortunately, you know, besides it being dirty, the boat's great. But this is just too freaking big. So, I'll take one more I want to show you one more thing about the back when I'm done. My wife's hops. She's very more agile than me. She'll hop up on the back tab and climb up here. So, I'll take one more thing from I want to show you something about the back. There's one screw missing that I want to show you, just to make sure that you know about it. This was, I think, kind of dumb. They put this thing in there. You know, I don't know why. I don't know. I think I'd rather just have it solid. So, but that's what Eliminator did. So, okay, bye, bud.